Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Michael McGinnis. I am the president here at FFR Trading. We are presenting an upcoming webinar Tuesday, April 23rd with professional trader Joe Duffy. We're going to be diving into his target zone options and talking about the neuroscience of trading. Joe, I know you and I are here today. We're going to be talking to the audience about the promotion of the webinar. So thanks for joining me today. Let's talk about the risk, everybody. There is risk in trading. Everybody knows that. Please be aware, don't trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. Okay, so risk disclosure there. Webinar topics. So upcoming webinar, April 23rd, we're going to be taking a deep dive into your target zone options program. Joe has a 75% win rate. It's up over 32% for this year. I know we're going to be diving into that on the webinar. No one wants to miss that. You are going to be going over the neuroscience of trading, why this is so important. We're going to be diving into your proprietary scoop indicator that's been so successful for you. And then you're also going to be giving a special trade for everybody that is attending the webinar so they can be looking at that for opportunity for this year. So thanks for joining me again, Joe, today. So if you could, for the audience that doesn't really know you, Joe, can you just give me a quick overview and tell them like who you are and what your background is and where you are today?
Sure. Thanks, Michael. I got started in the industry or getting a foothold in a difficult industry to get a foothold in through the United States Trading Championship, which was a real money trading contest that got a lot of coverage in Barron's, Stocks and Commodities magazine, Futures magazine, so forth like that. So I was able to parlay that into a job as a prop trader for a major international bank. I also did technical research for them, which we sent to our corporate and banking clients. It was ranked #1 by the Greenwich Survey, which is an independent survey of banking services. I've been registered as a CTA and an exempt futures fund manager, and I've been trading on my own and helping other traders learn to trade for the past 20 years or so.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Impressive track record, I have to say, on your side of it. So congratulations with all your success. All right. So we're also going to be diving into the neuroscience in trading and then why it's so important, which I think it's very intriguing on my side, something I need to dive into more myself. But you're going to be teaching this on the webinar and going into a lot of detail. But can you give us just a brief, in a nutshell, why is neuroscience so important and why people need to attend the webinar? So what are they going to be picking up and learning from you?
Okay. Well, if you've ever traded, I would say virtually 100% of anyone who's ever traded has found mental obstacles in the process. Neuroscience, and let me add that it's just not enough to say, well, just use a stop loss, just be patient, just be disciplined. Those are truisms, but they aren't going to change how your brain is hardwired. Okay. And I think understanding how your brain is hardwired is 50% of the way, and being able to rewire and change it. And certainly your brain can be rewired. It's called neuroplasticity, but you need to know how. Physically, a belief in your brain is a collection of cells that resist being pulled apart. Okay. And a lot of our beliefs aren't serving us. So, and 95% of our actions and reactions come from our subconscious. So it's very important to understand that. Now, the best thing is that the scientists have done all the heavy lifting, and the actual explanation and the actual changes that need to occur can be explained very, very simply.
Great.
And that's what we're going to do.
And you're going to be diving into that in the webinar. People are going to, it seems like anybody that attends a webinar is going to learn quite a bit from you on that subject, correct?
Well, yes. If you're ever going to try to trade on your own, or if you ever had tried to trade, and there's a lot of it that lops over into your regular life that'll make you happier.
I'm looking forward to it myself. So And then we're also going to be diving into your premium service, your target zone options program, which has been phenomenal. I did pull up a couple of trades here for this year. You've had great success so far this year, even last year in 2023, which was a very, very difficult year to trade. But if you could just give me and the audience here just an overview of Mara. This has been a successful trade for you here, or Mara. You traded a few contracts, but you had great success in a very short period of time. Can you just give us a quick overview of that trade?
Yeah, well, Mero is basically a Bitcoin miner, and the stock had set up. We have very specific criteria that we use to detect our trades, and the stock had set up very strongly. The issue with Mera was that because it was quite volatile at the time, the options get very, very expensive. And the problem with expensive options is not only their cost straight up, it's that there's so much time value baked in that even if the market goes your way, you don't make a ton. But if it goes against you, you can lose quickly. And that's because of so much time value. So what we do occasionally when in search is like Mara, when it's necessary, is we set up a spread. A spread is not that hard at all. Just one extra transaction. And instead of us having to pay away all that time value, we act like the floor broker does. We take advantage of the time value, and we do that through setting up a spread. And you can see that they both worked out fairly nicely. It really mitigates your risk to set up the spread. Yeah, I was quite happy with the results on those, especially that second trade. I only had it a couple of days, and it turned out quite nicely.
Great, 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 great. This is something that everybody will be learning on the webinar. We'll be taking more of a deeper dive into so they can get an overview of exactly what you're doing with Target Zone and moving forward on that side. With Target Zone too, I know that there's a lot of education, so people are going to really learn more about this during the webinar, but they get a lot of education from you. They get direct access to you, a lot of videos. They get obviously the direct trade alerts when you're entering the market and exiting the market. And I know that you're buying just puts and calls, spreads when needed, just like you did on Mara. And it's geared for all levels of traders. You can start with as little as 8 to 10,000 and upwards. And I know that you're taking a conservative approach and just applying and allocating about 10% per trade. Let's talk about, why the reason behind Target Zone. There's a lot of things. Number one is the neuroscience of trading and your expertise and experience, but also this proprietary scoop indicator that you developed many years ago that's so successful for you today. This is your scoop indicator. Can you just give the audience here, because I know you're going to be diving into this more in depth during the webinar, but give us an overview of scoop real quick and what this chart.
Okay. Well, it's multifaceted, first of all, because the market is never easy as if A then B. It's never that easy. So it's multifaceted. So what we have here on this chart is the final product. Okay. So I'm going to give you in a nutshell. If the color is blue, basically we want to be looking to trade long. And if the color is red, basically we want to look to be trade short. So that's the macro overview. You can see the little arrows on there on the chart. That is where the actual signal is triggered. Okay, so you can see Michael is circling the little buy arrows there. And if we go far over to the right, on the red part of the chart, you will see where the sells were triggered. Okay, so yeah, that's I'm going to show you in a little bit more detail how the indicator works for us and how we use it to find trades.
This is going to be great. People, it sounds like they're going to be learning a lot. All the individual traders that will be attending the webinar are going to be learning a lot during that process. So that's going to be excellent, Joe, in showing that. So this is incredible. The chart speaks for itself, right, for the success. So And then also on top of that, during the webinar at the end, I believe you're going to be talking specifically about a trade setup, a stock option that you've been looking at and monitoring all year. I believe we talked about it at the beginning of this year during one of our webinars we had, and you'll be diving into that and giving people a sneak peek and some opportunity there, which is great. And then there's a full Q&A session. So this is going to be great for individuals that attend the webinar that can discuss with you and get some answers, maybe ask some specific trading questions that you can give them some details on. So that's going to be excellent as well. And Joe, I'm excited for the webinar. I know you are. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at the webinar and everybody else there as well. So register today, everybody. Sign up for the webinar. Push the register button that's in the email that you get April 23rd. Anything else, Joe, that you want to add? Why people should be at the webinar?
No, I just the only thing I would add about the track record, the 32%, which is nothing to sneeze at, that's based on a portfolio of $10,000, and we usually only allocate one or two trades at a time, so we'll only be invested $1,000 or $2,000 at a time. So the 32% isn't on invested capital; it's on total capital. Okay.
Well, we'll be diving into more of that on the webinar. People will get to see that, and we'll go through a lot of the trades of the history of Target Zone. But don't wait, anybody. If you're watching this video, sign up, because you don't want to miss it, because we were overbooked at the beginning of the year. All right. So thanks, Joe. I look forward to seeing you on the 23rd, Joe, and everybody else that is attending the webinar. So until then, happy trading, everybody, and we'll see you on April 23rd.